How to motivate yourself to change your behavior. Hey guys, so today I wanted to make a motivational video for you where we're going to talk about how to motivate yourself to change your behavior. You see, the thing is with motivation is that it fluctuates. Some days you're going to feel really motivated to do something, where other days you're not going to. And it all comes down to how you're feeling, what your mindset is, if you've had enough sleep, if you've had an argument with someone. And it's usually on the days that we don't feel like doing something is when we don't do it, when we don't feel motivated. And the trick is, the thing that we want to learn is how to still be motivated, or at least get the things we need to done on those days when we don't feel like doing it. So today I have 7 tips on how to motivate yourself to change your behavior. So the first tip that I want to go into is, if you can't do it for yourself, do it for someone else. From my experience, I would do a hell of a lot more for other people, especially people I care about, than I would do for myself. And you see it a lot, you even see it with like people with animals. Usually the cat gets treated better than the person who owns it. They treat their cat better than themselves. However, this can be a really good motivating factor, because the point is that you want to be able to be consistent at whatever it is that you want to do. Because, if you are having trouble with motivation, then basically what's happening is there's some days where you're doing it, and there's also some days where you're not doing it, or you're self-sabotaging. But if you can use this as a way of motivating yourself, so thinking of, okay, I'm going to do it for my children, or I'm going to do it for my spouse, something like that, then if that is what motivates you, then that can help you become consistent. So if you can consistently motivate yourself through using that paradigm, that will help. And then what you'll see will happen is, because you've done it for so long and you've been using that as your driving motivator to get yourself up and do whatever it is you need to do, you will start to become consistent. Because that's what you want. You want to be able to do whatever needs to be done on days you are motivated, but also on days where you're not motivated, where you just get the thing done. And if doing it for someone else is what it takes for you to do it, then by all means, use that mindset. Especially if you are having trouble with doing things for you, if you have poor self-esteem, because usually people with poor self-esteem don't usually look after themselves. Then again, they hold other people in higher esteem, shall we say. So the people that you love and care about, who you would do anything for. So if you kind of switch that from I'm doing it for you to I'm doing it for them, and you really shift your paradigm in how you feel about that and how you see that, then that'll help. So if you can't do it for yourself, start doing it for other people. And then eventually at some point, you'll become consistent. The second way to motivate yourself to change your behavior, what I believe, is to start small and build yourself up. You see this a lot. Now, I've talked about this a few times recently. And, usually when, it comes to New Year's, everyone comes up with these grand, amazing new goals that they're going to try and achieve. And usually what happens is they give themselves too much. So let's say someone wants to lose weight. They commit to eating rabbit food or just drinking celery juice or something. And let's say also to exercise an hour a day. Now, if someone hasn't been doing that for a long time, so let's say they've eaten well, relatively well throughout the year, but they still eat a lot of rubbish, and they're in the habit of eating poor things. And also there's exercise. They've exercised maybe once a week for about a year, or they've only exercised a couple of times a month. It's going to be harder for those people to be able to motivate themselves to follow through and do an hour exercise, only drinking celery juice, whatever it is, it's going to be much harder for them because they haven't already built up a consistency to it. They haven't started doing those things before. So it's much harder for them. And also, they usually give themselves too much to do and they can't handle it. They first of all, they probably can't even fit it into their day. They don't have that extra half an hour to do more exercise or something. So what you need to do is you need to start small. So if you have a commitment to exercise or a commitment to eating healthy, then just start by reducing a little bit, let's say of your food. So let's say, okay, well, I'm just going to not eat as much during the week. So let's say it's just 100 calories, something like that, something small and manageable. And then basically what you do is you reduce it over time. So you say, okay, well, how about next week I'll do 200 calories deficit or something. You can think of it in terms of exercise. So let's say instead of committing to do an hour every day, well, how about just 20 minutes? And 20 minutes just seems so much more manageable than, an hour. But I'm not saying you can't do an hour, because I can't, who am I to say what you are capable of? But if you feel like you're going to struggle with doing an hour of exercise every single day, then start small. Like if you know you haven't followed through, if you know you haven't been able to commit yourself to doing an hour of exercise in the past, then try and do things, reduce it. Start small, and then let's say you do a month of just exercising 20 minutes a day. Something that's manageable. Then maybe next month you can work it up to half an hour, and then another month after that 45 minutes, and then next month an hour. Because the point is you want to get consistent at it. You don't want to put too much on your shoulders too soon because you're not going to follow through. It's much better to start doing things at manageable sizes to help with the consistency, because that's what you're trying to aim at. You're trying to aim at exercising every day, or at least every work day, or at least, to a set schedule that you've set for yourself that, obviously works for you. You need to start small, and you need to do what you can manage. Because there's no point, you see it a lot about, people doing like hours and hours of cardio to try and lose weight. No one can keep that up for a long time, especially if you're also not eating enough as well. So, just start small. Start by, just reducing a little bit of food or something, and, just having 20 minutes of exercise or something like that. Just start small, then work your way up. It's much more manageable. And the same goes for if you're trying to do something else, like something else pretty big, like writing a book, or you are trying to finish your paper if you're a student or something. Just start small. Start by just writing for like 15 minutes a day, and that will help. Just start by doing a little bit, and then the next day add on a bit longer, or next week say you're going to do a bit longer, like 20 minutes, but just start with 15 minutes. And if you just start with 15 minutes, and let's say you sit down at your desk and you say, okay, I'm going to do at least 15 minutes of whatever it is I need to do. And then what you'll find is you'll probably go on for longer than the 15 minutes that you planned, because once you've got into the momentum, it's much more easier to carry on. But the first thing you need to do is you just need to commit yourself to doing 15 minutes. And maybe 15 minutes is all you can manage that day, but at least you've done 15 minutes. Start small and build yourself up. So the next way to motivate yourself to change your behavior is by the use of pain and pleasure. Now, Tony Robbins talks about this a lot. And basically what you want to get to the point where doing something is more pleasurable than not doing it, or it's more painful to not do it than to do it. Now, I often see this with me. Like if I miss a video, like uploading a video for whatever reason, let's say I've had problems with editing, or I've had problems with the video and I've had to keep on re-editing it, or I need to make it, I need to make a completely new video or something, like I need to redo the whole thing, and I can't upload my video for the day. That is really painful to me. I hate it if I cannot schedule a video for a day. It puts me out of whack, it makes me feel really bad, and so I'm really consistent with my videos. I try and upload a video every work day, so every Monday to Friday, and if I miss that, it's extremely painful to me, and that's why I never fail to upload a video, usually. Sometimes it does happen because sometimes, life throws things at you that you can't really handle. There's sometimes things happen and you can't really control it, and then, you miss a day for whatever reason. But you can see my point, get to a place where it's so painful for you. And one of the good ways of getting to that point is to actually start being consistent. So if you're very consistent with something, like let's say, take my example of making a video every day, because it's consistent and it's something that's sort of like built in, and it's something that I do every day, it's a habit. It feels painful when I'm unable to do it. So that's the place where you need to get to as well if you want to change your behavior. You know, you need to get to a point where everything is consistent and you're doing things that you want to do consistently, you know, and it's painful to do it. And so another way that you can do this also is if you write down all of the painful things that will happen if you don't do it, and all of the pleasurable things that will happen if you do it. So like it could be, for example, a pleasurable thing could be a sense of accomplishment. If it's something to do with exercise, then you can be like, oh, well, I'll have an endorphin release, I'll feel better about myself, I'll have more energy. You know, just write down all of the positive things and all the pleasurable things that will happen if you do it. And then on a side note, you know, write down everything that will happen if you don't do it, all of the painful things, like you'll feel bad about yourself, your self-esteem will lower, you won't have as much energy, you'll feel, you know, bad about yourself, whatever it is. The fourth way to motivate yourself to change your behavior is to learn to enjoy the process. So I really love personal development. It's one of the things that I coach and teach people on, and I really, really, really enjoy learning and implementing things that I learn. I also really enjoy exercising. I also really enjoy making videos for YouTube and writing articles on my website because they are in line with things that I'm already interested in. So obviously I'm making a video on motivation. I love content about motivation. And it may seem hard for some people to, you know, let's say if you want to start your own business or something, people, you know, hate the process to begin with, and then they learn to love it because they can actually see things growing. And that's one of the things that I really love about what I'm doing, is that I can see my growth over time, and that really makes me enjoy the process because I can see things working. So for example, like I really enjoy my work day. I enjoy getting up and having my morning coffee. I enjoy looking at my analytics on YouTube. I enjoy, you know, setting my camera up. I enjoy sitting here and talking to you and helping you. I enjoy editing my videos. I enjoy working out in the afternoon, you know. I enjoy all of this stuff, and I really love my work day. I've set my day up in a way that I really enjoy it. And when you start doing that and you start enjoying the process of doing all the things that you need to do, and you enjoy it while you're doing it, it makes things so much more easier. And you set yourself up to win if you set up a schedule that you love. So the fifth way to motivate yourself to change your behavior is to start by doing it badly. So the first videos that I made on this YouTube channel don't even exist anymore because they were really, really bad, and I got rid of them for that reason. But it helped me get into the process of being consistent, because I actually started making videos on this YouTube channel last April. And they weren't very good. They were just some slideshows and I would talk over it and that kind of stuff. And I didn't really put much effort into them, and they were quite bad in quality. But it helped me get consistent with making videos. So I started off by doing really bad videos. Now, I'm not saying these videos are anything special, but they're much better than what they were. Because when you start something, you're not going to be perfect at it. And if you expect yourself to be perfect when you start something, it's going to make you anxious and it's going to make you second guess everything. It's better to start by doing it badly so you can just get into the habit of being consistent, because that's going to help you more than anything, is just to start by doing it badly. So if you plan on writing a book, write a really bad first draft. You know, if you're going to exercise, do a really light workout. Don't do the best workout ever. You know, don't just like find a workout on YouTube or something, or you go to the gym and you lift the heaviest weights, or you look at a YouTube video and it's one that's like burn 1,500 calories in 2 hours or something. You know, you want to start by doing something moderate and easy so you can get into the habit of being consistent. And it's the same right now if you're looking for a job. Write a really bad first CV. Just get the thing done, and that will help. So whatever it is that you're trying to do, start by doing it badly and then work on it. And then after you've done it badly, then, you know, make another bad second draft or something. You know, just keep on working at it. But first, start by doing it badly. So the sixth way to motivate yourself to change your behavior is to don't fall for the concept of being happy all the time or being motivated all the time. You see it a lot in the personal development world. And I don't know if you follow any like personal development stuff on Instagram or something like that. You see a lot of this concept of, yeah, you can be happy all the time and you can be motivated all the time. When that simply isn't true. I mean, just like motivation, happiness also fluctuates. And basically what you want to be on this sort of baseline where you're getting things done, you're not miserable, you're not particularly, like bouncing off the walls happy, but you've got a steady sort of mindset, and that's the best days for me. Like my favorite days are when I'm at this baseline where I'm getting the stuff done. I'm not too, bouncing off the walls happy, and I'm not too miserable. I'm at this good line where I can just get things done, and that's where you kind of need to get to, because you can't be happy all the time, and it's probably not very good to be happy all the time, because if you're happy all the time you tend to make mistakes and you're quite impulsive. But you can be, okay all the time. That's something that is pretty good to aim for, and that is in no way pessimistic either. Like, it's good to be at a good place where you've got a clear head, because that's what essentially being in a neutral stage is. You're not so miserable that the world looks awful, you're not so happy that you're not being realistic. It's good to be at that sort of baseline where you are clear thinking and you're able to get the stuff done. So that's the place that you need to aim for, and I believe that's the place where people get things done, and that's where people, can see growth in themselves. So don't fall in love with the fact that you need to be motivated all the time and you need to be happy all the time. And if you're not motivated all the time, then something is wrong with you. It's completely normal to not feel completely happy all the time and completely motivated all the time. Happiness and motivation fluctuate. I mean, it's obviously great when you have those days where you're feeling really good and you're feeling really motivated, but most of the time you're not going to be in those states of mind. Most of the time you're going to be on this baseline, and that's the place where you need to be able to sort of discipline yourself so you can move forward. So the last way to motivate yourself to change your behavior is, let's say you're really, really struggling with motivation today, which you might be if you found this video. Now, if you are really, really struggling with your motivation, then I would suggest, all else fails, to just listen or watch something or read something motivational. Because sometimes we really just need that little kick up the butt to motivate ourselves. And I think reading something motivational or listening to something motivational or watching a motivational video will help. Now, if you're interested in watching anything that has helped me along my journey, I have a positive resources playlist that will be at the bottom in the description of this video. So if you're interested in that, then you can find it there. None of those videos are mine, they're just videos that I found on this platform on YouTube that has personally helped me. So I would recommend that you go and have a look at those if you would like to. I hope this has motivated you to change your behavior. I've tried to give the best practical tips I possibly can, the easiest tips that has really helped me become more consistent with what I do. And if you would like help with me personally and you would like coaching or mentoring, then you can go to www.christineloveridge.com/shop. If you don't want to go through that way and you want to talk to me directly, then you can email me in the email provided in the description box, and we can sort something out that way. But if not, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's motivated you. I hope it's given you some good insights and you found it useful. If you have any tips yourself that you think would be really, really good and you want other people to hear about them or see them, then write them in the comments below so we can help even more people. And I shall talk to you guys again very soon. Goodbye.